Big question I think everybody on the show right now is what does tougher mean? I want to go to Aisha on that in a minute, but Secretary Nielsen's resignation comes as White House advisor Stephen Miller is reportedly consolidating his control over administration policy. An administration official told the Wall Street Journal President Trump recently told Miller, one of his most hardline advisors of this administration's immigration policy, "You're in charge." Meanwhile, Politico reports a person close to Nielsen said there's definitely a larger shakeup abreast being led by Stephen Miller and the staunch right wing within the administration. They failed with the courts and with Congress, and now they're eating their own. Here it comes. What does it mean when Trump says you didn't like family separation? Get ready for this. I'm getting even tougher.
Well, it's not really clear because the one thing that happened with family separation is he had to pull back on that. Like, he had to reverse that.
It looked awful.
And so now he wants to bring it back again.
It looked like Sophie's Choice. It looked terrible.
And it may work with his base, but it also is going to mobilize a lot of other people against him and against Republicans. That's why you even had Republicans at that time saying this won't stand. You cannot continue this type of policy. And so if he tries to bring back the family separation, you're only going to see people more mobilized against that. And I don't know what he could do that would be more tough than that.
Let me go back to Peter on this because I think it is a front page analysis reality here. We're looking into a much more, hard to believe it, more polarized election in 2020 than in 2016. And the president seems to want it more polarized.
Well, he's playing on these issues, of course, that are very, very divisive in the United States right now, immigration being his central signature issue. And it's so important to his identity, his sense of this administration, this presidency. He was elected on this as far as he was concerned. He was elected on Build the Wall. He was elected on protecting the country. And he's willing, he has said this, he's willing to sacrifice other priorities in order to make this happen. Even the economy, he says, is not as important as security at the border. So he has made very clear through the shutdown that lasted 5 weeks, he's made very clear through the actions of the last week or two that this is going to be his #1 priority going forward into this election. So this election may be fought out on this very issue.
Well, the Democrats let it become that clear cut, that they're for something like leniency, compassion, open borders in some sense, rather than be as with Trump. Are they willing to divide, let the divide open up that clearly? Peter?
Well, I think their message is a little fuzzier than his, right? His is relatively straightforward. I'm going to protect the country. I'm going to stop them from coming in. Democrats are to some extent divided between those like Beto O'Rourke, who says let's tear down the wall that we've already got there at El Paso, where he was a congressman, and those who say no, we're for border security, but we're also for a more rational immigration system that provides at least some sort of path to residency or citizenship for people who are already here and doesn't try to make deportation the only answer to the question. That's a harder message to sell, right? But on the other hand, the president, as you said, went out on the campaign trail last fall. He tried to sell the idea that Democrats were for open borders to the electorate. It didn't work in a congressional year. A presidential year is a different year, different kind of electorate, larger turnout. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. Stephen Miller, let's go to David on this one, because it seems Stephen Miller taking over tells us basically he's bringing in Frank Rizzo. He's bringing in the toughest guy he's got here.
He is.
You're not a Republican anymore. Is this going to make you personally less a Republican if we go to really, DEFCON 2 here, or whatever we're going towards with this president and immigration?
Look, Stephen Miller, according to a former White House aide, reportedly has said he'd be happy if not one additional foot of an asylum seeker ever set ground on American soil. Chris, this is the interesting thing to your last conversation with Peter. No politician today should accept this as a binary choice between open borders and security. The person who can succeed on this issue, and frankly, Donald Trump could accomplish much of what he wants to do on security if you led by showing that you're actually going to take care of the human crisis. That doesn't mean you have to admit everybody in. Publicly deploy healthcare workers and education workers, teachers, to take care of these families and these young children and make that the face of American immigration policy, that we're going to attend to this very human crisis while also supporting border security. The American people want border security, but their heart is in a very different place than the President of the United States is.
I agree with you. I think the family separation killed Trump for a while, not too long. He came back. But I also think a conservative point of view, a Republican point of view, was voiced very...
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.